Well, welcome back to SAFC Live here this afternoon. Early kick-off against Watford. Finished 2-2. Danny, what do you make of that game, first of all?
I don't know, to be honest. I think second half, obviously, sucker punch, wasn't it, right after the break, 50-odd seconds on the clock, decent strike, and Watford are in front. And then, obviously, as the half wore on, we huffed and puffed, made a few changes, and you think it's not going to come. But you've got to give credit to the lads once again. They kept on going. Dennis pops up with the equaliser, and then we have two great opportunities to then go on and win the game. Obviously, fans aren't too happy with the ref at the end, but listen, if Wilson or Alexis took one of those opportunities away, the fans aren't really complaining about the referee.
Should we have a look back through the highlights of the game? That might help you try and make head and tail of it, because it's another frustrating one. The fans will walk away exactly how they felt against Plymouth.
Plymouth, exactly, yeah. Yeah, again,
and that's what we said we didn't want to happen.
Yeah, well, two sides coming to the stadium like who were expected to go out and beat, and that's obviously not been the case again this afternoon.
But that unbeaten record continues.
Yeah, that's the positive to take, but the situation we're in at this moment in time, and I said earlier, we've played first this weekend. Obviously, Sheffield United are playing shortly, and we obviously still stay behind them. Opportunity sort of lost to capitalise, really, and obviously Leeds and Burnley playing in the FA Cup. But it was a frustrating one. I think Watford, to be fair to them, I think they played some good football at times without really hurting us, so they frustrated us and frustrated the crowd. And then obviously took their opportunities when they come along. And we'll obviously look at the two goals we've conceded again in a moment. But yeah, it's a difficult one because we're sat here now trying to discuss the man of the match as well, and it's difficult really to single anybody out as sort of being the standout player.
When Luton United scored this goal, it was a feeling in the ground it was going to be a matter of how many, not when someone was scored.
Yeah, we were saying that, is it going to be one of those where finally we can win a game comfortably and we can play with a bit of freedom, but obviously that's not been the case again. But yeah, getting on to the goal, and these two probably, let's say, standouts, but were two of the more consistent ones, I would say, this afternoon. And Trey's obviously played his part, and Luke's tucked it away. And as you say, now we don't really score enough from set pieces, so it's good to register one there. And we had a little spell after we got the goal, to be fair, where we moved it okay and sort of controlled it for 5 or 10 minutes, but then we get onto their incident where commentators curse, we're saying that really troubled us for all the possession, and then Dumbia steps up with a header and then wins his side a penalty, doesn't he? And then they were pushing really then towards the end of the break to go on and get to get themselves in front at Watford at that stage. So half-time came at the right time for ourselves, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go through the stats at the end of this, Danny, because chances on goal were quite scarce, really.
Yeah,
Keepers making a couple of saves on a couple of occasions. Well, obviously the late ones for Watford, but Anthony Patterson, apart from that point-blank range save which led to the penalty, I can't remember him.
Well, he's had one straight from kick-off, which we didn't see until we seen it on the replay.
It's bizarre. We were watching the replay of the goal. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Yeah,
we'll have a look at it back. But no, this is sort of where they came into the game now. I think that one they sort of work a half chance, but here's the penalty now. And at this point, it's a lovely ball in. Again, if you're slowing it down, it's hard because Luke's got a man. I think it's Sissoko penalty spot, and it's just over the top of Chris Mepham there. Dumbia's on the move. He should really score, if we're honest. He's 6 yards out middle of the goal, but credit to him, he doesn't give it up. Goes and gets it. There. Dennis thinks he can nick it.
Why is that a penalty, Danny? Because a lot of people asking you around half time.
Well, yeah, they were.
It's soft.
It's a penalty, isn't it? It's a soft penalty, a hard penalty. It's a penalty. Let's be honest. Yeah. Dennis goes with the boot, doesn't get there, and he catches him, I think, with his knee on his thigh. It's a penalty every day of the week. And listen, there's not too many complaints. I said it the other night. You gauge off players' reaction, and there's no one getting around the ref, are there really? And Dele Bashiru steps up and tucks it away. And then at this point now, they finished the half really strong. I'm thinking we need a half time here. And Andrews almost puts his side in front. He comes off Dennis. Referee doesn't spot it at the linesman. They give a goal kick, and it's possibly nestling in that bottom corner.
I was going to say, if he didn't get a touch on it.
Yeah, it might have been. But here we go now. Look at this here now. That's at this point. We haven't seen the full build up there, but is it Kayembe, I think it is, who picks it up there. He's a big unit, but somebody's got to go and take it off him there. He has 5, 6, 7, 8 touches. We've got 4 or 5 red and white striped shirts around him, and nobody puts a challenge in.
It's a heck of a finish, mind.
Drops the loser there. Yeah, listen, rolls his studs over it. Can take it, and he almost uses Dan Neil as a shield really in front of Anthony Patterson. I'm not sure he's going to get there anyway, and he's enjoyed the strike, hasn't he? And those Watford fans in the top tier above it would have as well. Yeah, it's interesting. Lefebvre, we finally get to see him sort of coming centrally there once we made the changes with Alexis coming on, went out to that left hand side, and Lefebvre, he's trying to get us going. He tried 1 or 2 balls which didn't quite come off.
This is offside, this one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's Luke O'Nine is at far post area. Yeah. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's Mepham. There's another one just after, wasn't there? Wasn't a bad delivery in. Again, the flag stayed down for that one, and Chris Mepham, I think, would be disappointed. He hasn't hit the target. I think this is the one that's offside. Yeah, it's the right footer, wasn't it? The in-swinger from Lafay. But yeah, it was a frustrating one. You could feel it in the ground with the crowd as well. This is a difficult one. This, you know, people say,
penalty.
Yeah, you can put your arms on a player, but then he's dragging him back as well at the same time. You know, Wilson's trying to be honest and stay on his feet, but I think if he gives a penalty there, I don't think you can argue it. I've got to be honest. He's a big physical lad, the centre back there. He's got to be careful. As I say, they maybe gets away with one.
Now we see a lot of chances late on this game. One of them, of course, is the equaliser. As well, but Sunderland knocking on the door very late on.
Yeah, here it is now.
So Serkin scores in the 89th minute.
Yeah, it's a lapse in concentration, as we say. Della Bashir, he's picking Dennis Serkin up. We see it now. He's got him. Look, no contact on him. It's lazy defending. You've got to be there. Look, we're coming to the end of the game. We're not on a great run.
Then look, watch this. Straight from the kick-off. We were too busy still looking at the replays.
We didn't see it live. We were looking at the replay of that, weren't we? And it almost gets done there, Anthony Patterson. And there's that big one we're waiting for, isn't it? You know, Dennis has got us level, and then we've seen this combination with these two before.
There's another chance, but I don't think we're going to see a second from Alexic.
Yeah, we're not going to see Alexic's opportunity. Yeah, another one, wasn't it? Just after 1v1. Not sure why it's not made the highlights, but yeah, so we get the equaliser, and Watford are hanging on, as you said, punch drunk, you said, didn't you? Yeah. And they're thinking, can we take the point? And they managed to hang on in the end. Frustrating one for us. Yes, we finished the game strong, but the last two home games is a point apiece, and 2-2 draws. Yeah, spit that out there. But against sides struggling.
Exactly, the side's not doing so great at the moment. But I guess let's look at the positives. You know, that's what we'll try and do in this game. We've seen a goal from Luke O'Nine, which doesn't happen very often. We've seen this undefeated record at home maintained. Yeah. So that's something to build on, of course. And we go again Wednesday night as well, straight away against Luton Town, don't we?
Listen, Luton have had a disastrous season, really, haven't they? Last season, look at them going up to the Premier League after they beat us in the playoffs, in the semi-finals, and obviously getting themselves up under Rob Edwards. Yep. And they were the one of the promoted sides, really, who made a bit of a fist of it, really, and you thought they would come close. And coming back down, I think a lot of people would expect them to have a half-decent season, Luton, but it's not been the case. Rob Edwards has obviously moved on. And I think they were second from bottom at the start of play today, so they've had a disappointing season. Again, they'll come here. Different type of game, you know, physicality up top in Morris. So yeah, they'll go long direct. We've seen it at their place where we stole the win, really, didn't we, that afternoon, that evening. But it's going to be a tough one. We've got to bounce back, really, and pick up the 3 points to stick with the sides above us.
Yeah, all eyes on the rest of the division this afternoon. Of course, Sunderland playing first out of the top group anyway. Yeah. So we'll be keeping an eye on things. Let's have a look at the league table as it stands. With that point for Sunderland, it's a point in the bag, as Tony Mowbray used to say. Point in the bag, move on. And we will do that. His West Bromwich side are actually beneath Sunderland after a win for them against Sheffield Wednesday. They move on to 47 points. Yeah, but Sunderland on 59. It
just looks better, doesn't it? If we're sat on 61, you know, we're still you know, sat in the 50s there. The others obviously played a game more than Sheffield United do. I think, as I said, it's Portsmouth this afternoon at home. You'd fancy them to go out, but you would have fancied them against Hull a couple of. Well, a week or so ago, wasn't it? They got beat 3-0.
Let's have a look at the bottom of the division. We'll see where Luton are, because they are our next opponents. They're going to play this afternoon. Luton, they've got second bottom, 27 points.
Yeah, and then it's... they're
not cut adrift yet, but they are in trouble.
And Plymouth, you know, we sort of wrote them off, didn't we? But they've got a fighting chance still, haven't they? If they can pick up a win there. They send those two teams there. Derby, obviously, Paul Warren lost his job yesterday as well. And that happens, doesn't it? Yeah, Hull amongst it. Portsmouth, Cardiff, so it's tight down the bottom as well. And a lot of those sides will just be looking at getting on a little bit of, can we string 2 or 3 wins together and just get out of it a little bit and get up to sort of Millwall, Queen's Park Rangers territory there. Bit of breathing space, but no, it's going to be interesting down the bottom as much as it is at the top.
Okay then, thanks Danny, thanks for your company this afternoon. As I mentioned, we are back in action on Wednesday evening. Luton Town are in town. 7:45 kickoff for that one, meaning we'll be on air from 7 p.m. You can get your matchday streaming passes right now from safc.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon.